Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a casted game of Age of Empires 4 featuring two titans of the industry. We've got Gamer Legion, the Viper, playing as the Yellow Roos here on the southeast side of the map, and his opponent, hashtag B or for Wololo, or Beef for Wololo, or 3DB as you probably know him. Obviously a player who's been grinding on the ladder, and he's currently ranked 2, trying to get to rank 1, and apparently if he wins this game playing as the Roos, he will be rank 1 on the non-pup version of Age of Empires 4. Now, of course, you've probably heard the legends, the stories of B for Wololo, 3DB, and his journey to Red Bull Wolo. He has been currently disqualified, probably not going to change now that we are a month out. So he's been trying to prove himself to get to rank number 1. And, you know, there's a lot of debate. You can go on Reddit and read for yourself, but whether it will ever prove his innocence, we may never know. But at the very least, we know that he's been streaming absolutely legitimately with his multiple camera angles and going up against Viper. If I was Viper, I would be nervous because B has been kicking ass out here on the ladder. Speaking of that, we've got a little bit of a squabble over the wolves out here. Now on the pup, the wolves won't follow anymore, so it'll be interesting to see how this changes. But as of right now, you can take one shot at them and they will follow you all around. We'll take a look at the bounty here for both players once we get a little further into this to see what they were able to pick up. Of course, this is a popular map for the Roos. This is high view. They got all these stealth forests. You got wolves dotted throughout. Of course, these deer. If you kill them as the Roos, you get some free gold and you start working on that bounty system. So just some things to note there for the matchup here. And right now, it looks like Viper is trying to deny some of these deer. Oh, he grabbed that one. Will he get any more? With the Roos mirror, you're kind of on an even playing field. If you're up against the Roos, typically they have more scouts than you. But not going to be the case here. As it's one. Oh, it looks like B got that last shot on that wolf. At this point, Viper probably needs to head on out. Now, let's go take a look back at home to see what their macro is looking like as they are playing this little scout mini game. Currently, B has 12 villagers on food, 2 on wood, and is aging up right now with the Golden Gate, throwing 8 villagers on that bad boy. Of course, this Golden Gate's got those tickets you can exchange for some favorable resources. Typically, this is used for stone, for additional town centers. Viper, on the other hand, has not aged up. He has 11 villagers on food, 2 on wood, 3 on wood, and should be aging up here very shortly. Let's see what Viper is going to do. There we go. Slapping that down. So, doesn't seem like a whole lot, but when you're at the top of the ladder talking about, you know, either rank 1 or rank 2, it does matter. B aging up pretty decisively faster than Viper, but just a few seconds. What's going to matter is how this goes into the mid to late game, how these players perform. Now, if you were unfamiliar with Viper, you might be living under a rock. He is one of the best Age of Empires 2 players, I believe, arguably rank 1 in Age of Empires 2, or has been at times. And he's won major S+ tier tournaments with Age of Empires 4, and he is qualified for both the main stages of Red Bull Wolo for both Age of Empires 2 and Age of Empires 4, which is just amazing, guys. Like, imagine trying to qualify for one. Many people have put all of their hearts and minds into just qualifying for one of these games. He's been able to do it with both. Now, what we're going to find out is, can Viper hang in Age of Empires 4 having taken many months off from it? He's quite rusty, but he's been practicing. I've seen him out here last few weeks, and professional of his caliber, it might be just like riding a bike. We see Viper reaching the second age, putting down his wooden fortress, dropping off the sheep. Let's look at that bounty. 310 for Viper and 285 for B. So Viper actually being ahead in the bounty game as far as collecting those wolves out. Going out to scout. Let's see a bit of his line of sight as he heads out there. He has both of his scouts together. Let's see what B can see. He has his spread out. Looks like they are converging. 1, 2, 3 scouts right there, and villagers coming forward. This is a classic B move. He is going for that boar. He's already aggroed it. You would think Viper maybe would be watching it, but he actually is currently looking at that scout. He's not looking at the boar. He might suspect that this could be going on. This is a pretty common thing with the Rus to go for that boar and then drop a town center, which is exactly what B is doing. Now, how did he get that stone? Well, he didn't mine it. He did it with exchanges at the Golden Gate. You can turn in 100 gold for 150 stones. So if you think about it, be able to gather enough gold with your bounty that helps you do that. Okay, so B grabbing that town center there in the middle of the map. What is Viper doing on his side? Dropping a stable. So no second town center for him yet. We'll have to see if he makes any exchanges. I do see he already has 150 stone. So one more exchange, which he could do here, and he'll have enough for a town center, but maybe he'll put it on the deer up here to the north, perhaps down here. We'll have to see, but the boar not going to be an option, at least for now. He could go for the boar at the far northeast, perhaps. But let's see what Viper can see. He sees that town center, knows that's going on. We see 8 villagers currently on the board. That is the limit of villagers you can put around a board. Thanks for those follows over on Twitch to Branko and Mystic. Thank you, thank you, thank you. By the way, if you are watching this over on YouTube, we host up community games on Monday nights over on twitch.tv/FitzBro. We're going to be doing an 8-person free-for-all. If you've seen it on the YouTube channel, you could play a part. I've seen people down in the comments talking smack about some of our free-for-all contestants, but I say, put your money where your mouth is. Join us for our community games that we're going to be playing later on this broadcast. Okay, Viper heading on out. Looks like he's trying to put down a wooden fortress. Now, a wooden fortress could have some considerable range, as it's got some nice upgrades compared to some of the other towers. Take a look at these bad boys. The castle turret increases the damage of the arrows fired by +2, and then the castle watch increases the line of sight, by 6 tiles. So, some specific things. Also, this one gives additional +2 range. Okay, so we got a little bit of a squabble going on. Villagers in here, scouts going on, trying to stop this tower from going up. I think B is going to perhaps deny this, but more villagers coming from Viper. This is quite the skirmish. And he's got a few horsemen to boot. So with the horsemen, probably going to be the decider. Look at this B keeping that one villager alive with 2 HP. Excellent micro from both these players. Not going to slide one by them. But looks like B has charged in the night and picks up a villager, but the tower goes up. Did any other villagers die? Is that a scout falling off or a villager? I think that was a scout. Okay, so I don't know if B lost any villagers. Look at some of these, so low on HP, but they survived. Now let's take a look at this. 26 villagers for Viper, 32 for B. That's the difference of the second town center. I wonder if Viper's gonna put his second town center down. Not from what I'm seeing right now. It looks like he's just sticking with that first one. He's doing kind of a 1 town center. You know, you would typically in this game, you would call this an all-in because the meta is pretty heavily towards a second town center. So if you're not able to deal some damage, you're just going to be behind economically. You're going to fall behind militarily. So I don't know. This is a risky move for Viper. Not going for that second town center. Maybe he will later. But investing in 3 military buildings, he will need to dish out some significant military damage. Okay, so we've got the... I see chat saying everybody knows the Golden Gate is a bridge. You know, I've thought about that. It's definitely true. There is a Golden Gate bridge in San Francisco, if I'm not mistaken. I have not seen it for my own eyes, so we haven't seen it. Is it really real? I don't know. You never know these days with conspiracies. Is the Golden Gate? This is a... you typically call things like Watergate, something gate. This is the Golden Gate gate. I don't know. Anyways, we got a little bit of fight here. Knight charging in, going up the horseman, archer and spearman. This is the 1-1-1 composition, meaning he's training. He has a barracks, he's got an archer range, he's got his stable, and he's just training them all up. Oh, he's trying. Now, the advantage of the horseman, it does have superior speed compared to that knight, which of course has more armor and damage. But I don't know. Viper really hasn't done a lot of damage yet. But perhaps some raids going on over here? But nothing's there. It's all in the middle of the map. And the scout is actually slowing down his horsemen. The scouts run at a slower rate than the horsemen. So if you have them grouped up, it's going to slow down your herd of horse. Okay, the horsey's going down. We see, actually, wait. It looked like maybe a knight died. Actually, turned around and maybe got a knight. There's another low HP knight there you could perhaps go after. So Viper trying to raid himself into this game. You gotta consider the fact he's on 29 villagers versus the 45 of Beef for Wolo. Oh man, I'm not sure if he's gonna be able to do it. I think B is in a steady spot. Viper might have miscalculated the damage he might be able to do in the feudal age, and this leads me to, leads many to wonder. Bathtub Moonshine, thank you so much for the 3 months of subscriptions. There's been a lot of talk about, is the town center too strong, particularly in regards to the second town center? Is it where the meta is kind of in a spot these days of, if you skip going for a second town center, have you just lost the game? As we see here, B is basically just sat back, gone to TC, and Viper, despite opening with 3 military buildings, has virtually dealt 0 damage. So those are some things we've been kind of discussing in the community of, is that too TC meta? Is it just too strong? Will he perhaps be able to do some big push here later? But I don't know. I think B's set up in a great spot, and this is a mirror. This is a good spot to compare. Now, these are 2 players of, I would say, different levels of preparedness. I mean, there's no mistake, and they're both professionals. They're both very good, and I wouldn't discount either of them. They'd probably both smack me in a 1v1 quite easily. But B has been grinding daily. It's been proven on his streams. And I'm not sure that Viper's been doing the same. Horseman charging in, but getting shredded by the Knights. Archers on the back line, laying out some shots, and Viper losing a lot of his cavalry army. Moving on off to the distance, he's got some spearmen and archers. One thing I do love about watching Viper is he is always using his formations. You see him in line formation right now. My favorite, he likes to do the victory formation, the wedge formation. I see him do this. I don't see any other players use the wedge formation, but Viper, he'll pull it out, and you want to watch out. He can pull out his snakes and he'll bite you. Viper right into the northeast with his villagers trying to get away. It looks like B has scouted this, and he says, no food for you. I mean, these are 8 villagers. Think about B's on 57 villagers, Viper's on 34. It doesn't even matter if he loses these villagers. He's just going to deny this food. He says, whatever, here's 8 villagers. They aren't working, but he's so far ahead. Now, he might not know exactly how far ahead he is, but he's probably scouted there's not 2 town centers. Viper going to engage this fight. Archers moving to the front line. Spearman also there. I think Viper has a nice mass to take this, but the wooden fortress going to make the difference in this fight. Viper dropping down a wooden fortress of his own, trying to reclaim this food. That's a lot of food to lose, right? Each of those deer have 350 food on their carcass. Viper setting up. What's going on mid? Not really a whole lot. He built his towers, but they haven't really... I guess he did deny the boar. I kind of missed that part. He did deny this boar, I think, with the second tower, but he got most of it. And I wouldn't be surprised if B's already on the northeast. He's not there yet. There's another boar up for the takings. Now, you hear me talk about villager counts a lot and saying, well, Viper's way behind. What do you mean he's way behind? He hasn't lost any big fights. He's only just now losing like one of his first villagers. But in Age of Empires 4, if you have the lower villager count, your economy is going to fall behind. And if your economy is smaller than your opponents, they're going to be able to afford more military units. So they're going to show up with more siege units. They're going to show up with more archers, more knights, whatever it might be. So that's why economy is really the backbone of Age of Empires 4. You got to be on top of your economy and your military. Right now, a ram coming up. Going to probably take out that wooden fortress, which does contain 8 villagers. But right now, B is basically microing the knights back and forth, trying to pick off the spearmen. And as he's done that, he will add in the charge. And you see that right now. Those knights going to the front line. Those archers will stand no chance as the Viper taps out B for Wolo. 3DB, he claims his rightful spot at number 1 on the ranked ladder. Now, of course, many of the professionals have been playing on the pup version of Age of Empires 4, but not going to discount anything. That's a huge accomplishment for any player. B has now reached rank 1 on the ladder, and I guess the question will be, can he hold that position? If you've been watching this casting game over on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. Leave me a comment below about the matchup. Let me know what you think. Clearly be dominating in this game. And make sure you hit that subscribe button. We just hit 11111 subscribers. So actually, don't subscribe, guys. It'll mess up our numbers. But at the very least, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.